Hey everyone, so right now I'm about to start my fall planting season. If you hear a weird sound, it's because I busted up my foot. Um, I'm not 21 anymore, so yeah, things don't work the same. So today I'm going to start doing some planting, or at least putting some seeds in a starter tray. And so I kind of wanted to show you how I'm going to go about it a little bit. Um, So I have some starter mix, but I don't have enough. Um, so yeah, I have some peat moss right here that I use for all my plants. Take some peat moss. Take enough for about, right now I'm only going to do about, I don't know, about 12 or 16 seedlings. Just a little short one today, some your classic wintertime crops. Right here I've got some worm castings. I'm not being super scientific about it, but just enough to give them a little bit of some nutrients once they get going. I'm gonna throw a little bit of perlite in there, but I'm gonna try and grind it up a little bit in my hands, break up some of the bigger pieces. That way it's not creating too big of an air pocket. But on this one right here, we're mostly trying to hold water, not so much let it drain. As you can see, I'm going to kind of grind it up a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to head over to my little station over here. I built this little guy to keep all my seedlings safe from the squirrels. And so we're going to get this going here. If you see, I've got peat moss, some perlite. I'm also going to add a little bit of vermiculite. Okay, just a little bit. This will kind of hold a little moisture and help with drainage as well. So mix this around, basically over, and then while I'm at it, I'm going to take like little sticks out, kind of get it to be as fine as possible. That's looking pretty good. And then I normally buy seedling mix like this Black Gold. This stuff works awesome. It's pretty fine. So it actually looks really similar to what I just made. But this ought to work just fine. Okay, so now I have a whole stack of little pots here. This tray right here came with a bunch of, it had a tray full of a bunch of small little, it was like a clear tray with a bunch of tiny little spots, but I found that the spots were so small that when I wanted to remove the plant or the seedling, it was like really hard to get them out. And so now all I'm doing is I'm using these guys, which I've used before, and I just stack them in this little tray to keep them moist and get the leaves from my tree out of there. And so far, I haven't had any problems with reusing these. They're only used for a short period of time before I either up pot them or put them out in the garden. But yeah, it's about time to get ready for the fall. And to be honest, a lot of crops that I really enjoy, like broccoli, cabbage, items like that. Got some old labels in there. Okay, so I am going to fill these up, and then once I fill them up, we're going to start soaking them. All right, now that we've let this soak for a little while, these things are pretty saturated. For the fall crop, I'm going to start with an all-season cabbage. This is by San Diego Seed Company. They're a local seed company. They're awesome. So a lot of these things are basically created to grow well down here in these warmer climates, especially for the fall. So yeah, this is a Rapallo all-season cabbage, good hardy cabbage around here. So as we go into fall, one of the things that we have to worry about is it's still pretty warm here. And so I have to plant things that are kind of all season at this time of year. We're in September. It is the 27th. I'm a little on the late side, but should be just fine because we have a long growing season here. And so the germination should be really nice and quick because it's still nice and warm. And then by the time these things really get up and going, it should be cooled down enough for this to actually do something. So I'm going to plant these things about 1/4 inch deep. And so for me, I'm just going to put probably 3 seeds in each one just to be sure. These seeds were packed for last year. And so that means that the germination is going to be a little less than if they were packed for this year. So yeah, I can even put 4 because it's not like they're going to be good next year. And this is going to be the first of my successions. I'm going to succession crop these things probably every 2 weeks or so. And I'm going to put like a little bit of a divot, drop a seed in there, and then we'll water them in. Here in San Diego, we all tend to eat a lot of Mexican food, Mexican dishes, and stuff like that. And a lot of those have cabbage as their fillers, say like our fish tacos and stuff like I like personally. If you're going to make like a tostada or something of that nature, to use a little bit of cabbage as your covering versus lettuce. Fish tacos, for sure, they go much better with cabbage. That's the way they do them down here. And it's delicious. Little cabbage, little cilantro, and you've got a good thing going. Cilantro and onion. So I like growing cabbage. I think it's a great crop to have, but like I don't want to do all of these as cabbage. I have about 15 little pots, little miniature pots here, and I don't want to make them all the same thing because I can't eat 15 heads of cabbage at once. So I'm going to put these right back here. This little label for this row is going to be Rapallo cabbage. Okay, the next I have is I'm going to do another cabbage, and this is Red Acre cabbage. And let me see here. Red Acre cabbage. The other one was the all season Rapallo. This is a Red Acre Rapallo. This one is packed for last year as well. I typically still have good luck with these if they're packed for the season before, and I hate to waste them. So we're going to see how these do. If these don't do well in the next couple weeks, I'll be planting some others later on. If I don't see these guys within a couple weeks for my next succession, I'm going to go ahead and start with it. I'll get a fresh pack of seeds and go from there. But yeah, these want to be 1/4 inch deep and pack them down. All right. We're going to keep going to the next one. And I think that most of these cabbages are going to do really well here because obviously we don't get a hard frost here. We might get one little spell throughout the winter. I have row covers and stuff like that for that. And if we do get a frost here, we are going to be right on the cusp of frost. Like, it's not going to be down in the low 20s or anything like that. It'll be upper 20s if at worst, at absolute worst. But typically the worst we get around here is about like 30, 32, somewhere in that ballpark. We're only about 5 to 10 minutes from the coast, about 10 minutes from the coast here. And so like we can, actually we're a little bit further than that. We're probably actually 15, 20. So we still get a little bit of an influence around here from that, and which helps us kind of stay nice and moderate, real mild climate. And it's weird. Where I live in Bonsall, and I have a view off the one side of my house that looks right down a valley at the coastline, to the coastline, and I can see the ocean just a little bit from here. On the other side of my house, so on the back side of my house, that's the way it faces. It goes right to the coast, and so I get a nice cool breeze in the summertime, and in the wintertime, it's all the cool air drains off the back of our property down into the valley, and it's much colder down there. So because we're a little elevated and we have a good way for the cold air to get out of here, it doesn't get that bad here in the wintertime. We don't get as much frost. And on top of that, it's cool in the summer on one side and it's warm on the other. So I can kind of choose the climate that I want to put certain plants in, which is really nice. It's a benefit around here. Okay, next thing. Snowball cauliflower. And so this one right here, it's going to be the same planting, 1/4 inch depth. I think this is for this year. This is actually another 2024 that I didn't get to plant. And actually, I think the thing is with these is I bought them not that long ago, and they hadn't put out their fall seeds yet. I think I bought them in the summer. So, okay, so we are going to, let's see, we have cauliflower. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to do 4 in each cell. And get these things in there, get them going. Love cauliflower. Love broccoli. Some of my favorite vegetables right there, along with most America. I know that some people that I know and work with would be like, disgusting. Not much of vegetable fans. But if you like vegetables, I know that this is pretty much on your list that you cook quite often. And I've grown broccoli here before and it turned out great. And I love the little florets that you get after the main harvest. Not on so much cauliflower, but on broccoli. The little florets off the side that just keep going through the spring. Love those. So these things as well, I'm also going to succession plant these through the winter and try to harvest these things, every couple weeks or so, and just keep a good steady supply. So get these things covered up. All right, there's our cauliflower. All right, next I have broccoli de Chico. I think that's how you say it. Kiko. I'm not sure. So broccoli Frost tolerant, 48 days to harvest. 1/8 inch seed depth on these. This is an older pack. I know this is an older pack. This was probably, yeah, this is from last year as well. So we'll see how this one does. I do have one. I have the Botanical Interest Bellstar as well. So I'm going to try 2 different broccolis this year. Pretty soon as well, I'm also going to, once we start getting a little rain in here, I'll start trying out our flowers. Here in San Diego, we have a lot of, when we get our rain, that's when everything really starts to take off. It gets very dry here in the summer. Of course, it's kind of a Mediterranean climate here. Summers get hot and dry. Winters, this place looks like Ireland. These green grasses come in, and it is absolutely beautiful here. The flowers are kind of, native flowers at least, are really expecting that rain before they want to take off. And so for the native flowers that I want to plant around here, those are going to have to wait just a little while and let the rain do its job on them. Okay, so that was Chico, or however you say that, broccoli. And so I got that. I'm going to cover these up. And this will be the first round of my fall planting. I still have to go out there and clean up my garden beds. All my raised beds are still kind of have some leftover summertime vegetables in them. It's always hard to get rid of your summer beds when they still have hanging on fruit, or tomatoes and different ones over there. So I have spaghetti squash over there. We're going to harvest a bunch of sweet potatoes today. But all my corn stalks are still standing up. I had a lot of corn stalks. All right, so now I have the Bellstar broccoli. Let's see what I can get out of here. Okay, so the Bellstar broccoli, we're going to have to be very, very frugal with it. Couple per. Hey, kiddo.
Oh, kitty. Oh, kitty.
And so that's that. So we just planted Bellstar broccoli, and this one, everything is planted. I only had a handful of seeds of those, so now it's time to water everything in. And cover.